On the news, legislative activities lined up as National Assembly resumes plenary. Senate inaugurates 2 senators from Anambra South, Edo Central to fill vacant seats. Plus, 2025 Supplementary Appropriation Bill of Akwa Ibom State scales to second reading as the Ogun Assembly approves 2026 to 2028 MTEF. Good evening and welcome to Parliamentary News, reaching you from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. I'm Joshua Ogujude. Thanks for joining us. We begin the news by reporting that President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while presiding over the session following a 10-week recess, urged his colleagues to remain steadfast in discharging their constitutional responsibilities in order to strengthen the Federation, enhance governance efficiency, and make democracy more inclusive. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that letters from President Tinubu requesting the Senate's confirmation of appointees were read at the commencement of the plenary. I report.
The arrival of the Senate's leadership signaled the beginning of another legislative session. Godswill Akpabio, in an address, reassures Nigerians that Senate will remain open, accountable and responsive as it gives the executive necessary support in the ongoing reforms for a better Nigeria.
We must legislate with boldness. We must give the youths of Nigeria not only hope, but opportunities. We must revisit the constitutional amendment. Where policies raise our people, we shall learn our strength. Where policies tend to imperil them, we shall speak out on their behalf.
Communications from President Tinubu that had piled up during the annual recess were all presented and referred to the relevant committees for further legislative action. 6 of the letters were requests for confirmation of appointments into agencies of government. 2 other letters were notification of presidential assent to bills from the National Assembly, while the remaining contained explanation on why the president declined assent to 2 bills. Plenary featured second reading of bill to amend Passport Act 2025, part of which prescribes withdrawal of international passport for a period of 10 years from any Nigerian citizen that is convicted for a crime outside the country.
To discourage the perpetration of crime by our citizens and to redeem the image of our country.
To serve as a deterrence to other Nigerians from committing crimes in foreign jurisdictions.
Tighten the process of acquiring Nigerian passport and make sure that at least those who really need Nigerian passports are issued.
So where a Nigerian goes to mess up the image of the country, such a Nigerian should not just go to prison and be deported to Nigeria. Such a person should actually lose the international passport for at least 10 years, or 10 to 20 years.
Bill to amend Federal Medical Centers Act, forwarded from the House of Representatives for concurrence, was also passed.
To provide for the establishment of additional federal medical centers across the country.
Meanwhile, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan also joined her colleagues at plenary, having served the 6 months of suspension. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has requested the approval of the House of Representatives for the federal government to raise $2.34 billion in new external borrowing, part of which is intended to finance the 2025 budget deficit and refinance maturing Eurobonds. The President is also seeking approval for a stand-alone Sukuk loan of $500 million in the domestic capital market to fund critical road projects. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikwen reports.
The lawmakers are fresh from annual recess, and Speaker Abbas Tajuddin serves notice that bills on constitution review, particularly regarding security and electoral reforms, are top priority.
Our goal is to make elections less contentious and litigious, lower their cost through single-day voting, and make the process of party primaries more democratic and inclusive.
President Tinubu's requests to implement new external borrowing include 1.84 trillion naira for part financing of the 2025 budget deficit, as well as accessing aggregate external capital of $2.3 billion and a $500 million Sukuk loan.
The House of Representatives may wish to note that 2025 Appropriation Act provides for 9,276,348,934 naira as new borrowings to finance the 2025 budget deficit.
Lawmakers expressed concern over renewed bandit attacks in parts of Niger and Kwara states.
Note the recent attack on the people of Rabah, Salka, Tunga Mongoro, and Ibeto communities by bandit and cow rustlers.
Further note the tragic incident on Sunday, 28 September 2025 in Okiode, which were about 15 persons, including 11 forest guards and Bale of Ogbayo, among others, were killed by armed bandits.
The House constituted an ad hoc committee to investigate multiple bank charges and deductions in the bank accounts of civil servants.
Concern over the deduction of various taxes and charges from their monthly salary and earnings, especially in line with the government policies on the National Housing Funds, National Health Insurance Scheme, with little and no clarity on the utilization of such deductions, thereby raising issues of accountability and transparency.
3 new lawmakers from Edo, Jigawa, and Kaduna states were sworn in following their victories in the August by-elections. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
In an interesting development, Emmanuel Umwachukwu of Abuja has been inaugurated as Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing Anambra South. Also inaugurated during Wednesday's plenary is Joseph Ikpia of the APC as Senator representing Edo Central. Senators Umwachukwu and Ikpia were elected in August 2025 in the by-election conducted by INEC to fill vacancies created in the Senate following the death of Senator Ifeanyi Uba and the departure of Monday Ekpebo, who contested and won the governorship seat in Edo State. The National Assembly has been urged to consider stripping the executive of the power to appoint the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) as part of the ongoing constitutional amendment process. This was one of several proposals made during a consultation between the House Committee on Constitutional Review and leaders of Nigeria's 19 political parties held in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikwen again has the details.
The process to amend the 1999 Constitution continues, with the National Assembly expanding its scope of consultations to include the national chairman and leaders of political parties. The Constitution Review bills cut across judicial and electoral reforms, gender inclusion, state police, and local government autonomy. And the leadership of the National Assembly believes the input of political parties are critical.
Is our constitution still fit for purpose? Does it reflect the Nigeria we are today, or is it anchored to the Nigeria of a bygone era?
Security too must evolve. It must be local before it can be national. A nation as vast as ours cannot be protected from a single command post. The call for state policing is not a rebellion. It is realism.
The special seat bills represents a bold step towards correcting historic imbalances.
Constitution amendment proposals submitted by the Inter-Party Advisory Council include establishment of an Electoral Offences Commission to try electoral offenders, scrapping of all state independent electoral commissions to allow INEC conduct local government elections, and establishment of an independent appointment committee to select the electoral umpire.
For INEC to be independent, to be free from whatever influence, then to be able to give Nigerians free, fair and credible election, there's necessity that the person who is going to conduct the election must definitely be somebody who is not under the influence of the president.
Everyone needs to be carried along and their views need to be sought so that we can have an inclusive constitutional amendment.
Expectations are high that this Constitution Review consultation will transcend party lines to reflect the wishes and aspirations of Nigerians. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
We now go on short break. The news returns after. Please stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Parliamentary News, reaching you from NTA Parliament, Abuja. You can join us via the platforms going on your screen. Meanwhile, in view of delays in the completion of the Calabar E2 Federal Highway, despite substantial funding by the federal government, the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Works has declared a state of national emergency on the road. The committee is also calling for a public hearing following an oversight inspection. Parliamentary reports that the committee also visited the Cross River section of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway currently under construction.
For many years, the state of the Calabar E2 Federal Highway has been a thing of concern, and despite federal government release of funds, it has been a nightmare for commuters as many sections handled by various contractors are yet to be completed. This, the Senate and House of Representatives Joint Committee on Works on Oversight after interaction with contractors and inspection of different sections of the route, expressed displeasure over the quality of some sections of the route and the delay in completion being attributed to change from asphalt to concrete pavement.
We need a national emergency on this road, and as a parliament we are calling for a public hearing on this matter. How do you get from Cross River into the other parts of the south without this road? We were privileged to be able to clear the road and move past the traffic, but what's going to happen to the average Nigerian?
This has been an eye-opener for my colleagues. They've seen the condition, and this is what Cross Riverians and people from Akwa Ibom go through day in, day out. Because there is no road in Nigeria that is in this condition. Exactly. We know that Mr. President is an action president. He would not want to see this sort of thing happening.
Please, make government take care of this road and work it very well. We beg.
The work is so slow. They've done some part of the road.
The committee also visited the terminating point of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway in Akankpa Cross River State, with 1 kilometer of stone base already done, and expressed satisfaction.
I was doubting the project, but I have seen it now, and I think I can report it anywhere that yes, a wonderful job is being done here.
Be patient with us. The renewal hope of Mr. President is coming to pass.
They urge the people to unite and support the project for the prosperity of the South-South and the nation. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
In another climb, the 2025 Supplementary Appropriation Bill totaling 695 billion naira has killed second reading in the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly with a call for accelerated consideration. House Leader and member representing Nsit Ubium State Constituency, Otobong Bob, moved the motion, which was seconded by Unsibide Akata, member representing Eket State Constituency. Unsika Akokon reports.
Chairman House Committee on Finance and Appropriation, Ito Ratem, while presenting the report, says the supplementary budget will enhance ongoing projects and programs across critical sectors such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, sports, and other developmental projects.
The supplementary budget of 695 billion made up of 125 billion, 664 million, 328,180 naira for recurrent services and 569 billion, 335 billion, 671,820 naira for capital expenditure. 1,650 billion, made up of 425,664,328,180 naira for recurrent services, and 1,224,335,671,820 naira for capital expenditure.
Before the passage of the supplementary budget, the House was dissolved into the Committee of the Whole and Supply to consider the reports. The Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udemoto, speak on the supplementary budget.
Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 be read the 10th time. Those in favor say aye. Those against the ayes have it. Accordingly, the Akwa Ibom State Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 is hereby read the 10th time and passed into law.
Meanwhile, the House has approved the adjustment of the projections in the current 2025-2027 medium-term expenditure framework currently in operation. The committee's report was presented by the chairman and member representing Eket State Constituency, Nsidaba Akata.
The fiscal indicators used in forecasting the approved 2025 investment term have significant changes with positive impact on the state revenue. 2. The approved MTF figures for 2025 fiscal year on revenue was 980 billion naira, and that between January and July, the actual collection was 1,115 billion naira per revenue, and showing surplus performance.
The revised medium-term expenditure framework provision now stands at 1.7 trillion naira as against the approved provision of 980 billion naira. Nsika Okon, NTA News.
The Ogun State House of Assembly has approved the State Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) for 2026 to 2028 in preparation for the 2026 budget. The Assembly also declared open a competition for secondary school students to test their competency in legislative processes and democratic values. The event was organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILS. Yemi Dalimo reports.
The financial framework was approved at a plenary presided over by the Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, after the presentation of the report of the House Committee on Finance and Appropriation by its chairman, Musefiu Lamidi. The report was considered and adopted sector by sector, with allocations covering personnel, overhead, and capital expenditures for the state's various ministries, departments, and agencies from the year 2026 to 2028.
Kindly forward the clean copy of the House resolution conveying the approval of the MTEF to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of our dear state, Singapore, Abuja, CON, and other concerned stakeholders for the preparation of the year 2026 proposed budget and that of the other fiscal year.
The Speaker described the national quiz competition on legislature and democracy organized for selected secondary school students in the state as a vital step towards raising a generation of Nigerians who truly understand democratic values and responsibilities. The competition featured 6 schools across Ogun State, saw Ambassador College, Ota, after rigorous exercise, emerging winner of the state contest, securing a space at the regional competition coming up in Akure later in the year. Abeokuta Grammar School and Ijebu-Ode Grammar School clinched 2nd and 3rd position, respectively.
The aim of the quiz is to deepen the knowledge of the legislative and democratic governance at the level of secondary school students, as well as to inspire young Nigerians to cultivate the interest to participate in legislative governance. As a critical organ of our nation's democracy, enhancing the knowledge of young Nigerians in the legislature will not only foster an inclusive and participatory legislature in Nigeria, but will also serve as an avenue for citizen engagement in the legislative process.
This is not the first place we are having this type of quiz competition. They've done it in Yobe, Edo, and some other states. Ogun State is not the first place to visit. So I want to thank you for giving us in Ogun State the opportunity to be among them.
In another development, the State House of Assembly says it is committed to digitization of its parliamentary activities and to aid access to legislative governance, describing the state as a pace setter in all areas of governance in the country. The Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, stated this during a training program on digitalization organized for lawmakers and management staff of the House of Assembly. In Abuja, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
Back in Oyo, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has summoned the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Ekem, the Permanent Secretary of the Hospital Management Board, and the Chief Superintendent of Ikpe General Hospital in Ini local government area to appear before the House within 2 weeks. Onsika Akokon again reports that the summons follows a September 16, 2025 incident during which members of the 8th Assembly's Committee on Health were denied access to the hospital during an oversight visit.
Aside from the making of laws for the betterment of citizens and the state, another important responsibility of lawmakers is to oversight government projects. Hence, their visit to Ikpe General Hospital in a local government's area to ascertain the working condition of the hospital. The Chairman House Committee on Health and member representing Ibom State Constituency, Moses Essien, while leading members of the committee for an oversight function in the hospital, were denied access into the hospital by the Chief Medical Superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Kemeni Okut. Dr. Okut reportedly informed the lawmakers that his action was based on instructions from the Health Commissioner and Permanent Secretary, Hospital Management Board. Presenting the issue on the floor of the House under matter of urgent public importance, Chairman of the committee, Mr. Sien, describes the incident as insulting and embarrassing to the House.
The Speaker, construction of hospitals and upgrading hospital facilities is a product of the appropriation of the House of Assembly. And so because we make the law governing these institutions, the Constitution also empowers us to guide our side. But the medical superintendent vehemently told us he cannot allow us access to the facility. I consider this act a very serious embarrassment, an insult, and the application of the institution of government, the House of Assembly.
The leader of the House and member representing Nsorobia State Constituency, Otobon Bob, the Deputy Speaker, Kufre Basie Didem, and Prince Ukpong Akpabio comments on the issue.
Mr. Speaker, I think we must take, and as an arm of government, we must take strong exception and do the needful to ensure that this serves as a deterrent going forward.
What we have just heard is an aberration. It has no place in democracy at all. Everything owned by Akwa Ibom State government belongs to Akwa Ibom people. And legislators are the ones speaking and representing the symbol of the Akwa Ibom people.
They are between us criminal activity or other. So those are my fears. So we should not take this matter like it is a matter that we should even involve police. Let them go into that facility and check that facility properly. Because I see no reason why someone will block government from entering government facility.
Speaker Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly Udemotong describes the incident as a serious affront to the legislature.
Chairman House Committee on Health to send a letter inviting the Commissioner, the CMD of the Nigerian Hospital, the Permanent Secretary, and Chairman, this matter, you will report back to this House in less than
The incident of Ipe General Hospital came up barely some weeks after Governor Moino declared a state of emergency in the health sector with the recruitment of 2,000 medical personnel, a move widely applauded with hopes to strengthen the healthcare system. Zikak Okon, NTA News.
That concludes the news on NTA Parliament for this evening. You can follow us on all social media platforms showing on your screen. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Joshua Abuja. Bye for now.